it doesn't present itself that way. But as soon as you catch whiff of it, you run immediately. Run. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah. So, without further ado, let's get into our first clip, baby. All right, I'm gonna let the clip run. I'm gonna put my comments in it. Y'all already know how the react and commentator thing goes. Let's get it.
Means that I get to pick up whoever I want to choose to be with. If I'm that dude, I can choose to be with either a woman with no kids or a woman who does. Because remember, I'm a man, I love peace before I love a woman. Facts. I'll choose the woman who brings more peace. Her 5 kids with the extra baby daddies, with the extra baby daddies who are going to get upset if I whoop their kids. Now I got to whoop them kids. I got to whoop the daddy too. I'm going to get a woman who ain't got none of that baggage. If I can, as the benefit of being a provider, I will choose the woman with the kids if I don't have to, which I don't.
He's talking about, you know, choosing peace over in a relationship, you know what I mean, or just choosing any women out here, you know what I mean. And it's been like a big deal out here in these internet streets, you know, with the whole, you know, gender war, or quote unquote gender war. I mean, it shouldn't even be a gender war if you ask me personally. And I honestly agree with him in totality, you know, coming from, you know, being a man or whatever. And I have dealt with, you know, a woman with kids, and twice in my lifetime. So I completely understand where he's coming from. And it's not a peaceful situation. Majority of the time, it's not a peaceful situation. You know what I mean? So, you know, this is I played that clip to go further into choosing peace over anything else. And generally, as a man, especially in this country, the greater USA, you know, a lot of us men tend to choose peace over anything else. We love peace. We love our peace, whether that's playing the game, whether that's, you know, playing a video game, you know, sitting at the river, or smoking a cigar, you know. Shouts out to the cigar smokers, your boy, you know, having a drink, sitting in silence and gratitude, you know what I mean? Things in that nature. So I completely understand. I'm right there with homie. Let's get into this next clip, baby.
Men care about peace. As long as no one's fucking with me, what a day. To the ladies in the room who don't understand this, peace comes from nothing, all right? It comes from nothing. Think about a time you asked your man what he did that day. And if the answer was nothing, think about how happy that nigga was to tell you that it was nothing. That's how we operate, all right? Nothing is a great thing, but fellas, do not expect your woman to understand peace. Just like you don't understand her quitting $1 million an hour job, she will never understand peace. Because to them, peace looks like happiness. And they don't like happiness when they're not around. She's not gonna preserve your peace. And I know there's some women in here like, no, I'll preserve my man's peace, and you're a fucking liar. Because think about a time your man was in the room by himself, staring off into the distance, smiling, and you walk past the room. Did you look at him and go, he looks happy, I'm gonna leave him by himself, he looks happy? Or did you go, the fuck is he smiling about? It better be me, it better be fucking me.
That's my boy Ryan Davis, bro. Very hilarious comedian. If y'all not already following him, go follow him. His page, his YouTube page, his specials is freaking phenomenal. But yes, Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. It's just what I just previously said. Commenting on the last clip. You know, we just love our peace. Sometimes we just want to sit in solitude. You know what I mean? Just sit in solitude, sit in peace. Peace. It just feels so good. It feels so good with a war of the world constantly around you every day. You just want to come home, relax your mind, relax your head, and just be in peace. Play the video game or something, or whatever. Drink some coffee. I personally drink my coffee in the morning. Some of yous out there, that ride with me, probably drinking coffee in the evening. It's not odd, but it just it's out of the ordinary. I'm gonna just put it like that. It's not odd though. It's not odd. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging. But if that's your piece, appreciate that. You know what I mean? So everybody have their own form of peace. Men just in particular value peace at a higher level, even higher than money. Money just makes room for peace. And we don't want nothing to disturb our peace. So that's why we'll go out and find purpose. It's a sense of peace. We get a little bit of money from our purpose. It's a sense of peace. When we get home from working on our purpose, it's actual peace. You know what I mean? We just love peace, man. We just love peace. We don't want to disturb, ladies. We just don't like it being disturbed. You know what I'm saying? Don't disturb my peace. Don't have my coffee over here tasting like shit. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's not cool. That's not cool.
Anyways, next clip.
A lot of men aren't leaving because they cannot handle a good woman. They are leaving because they are tired
She's a
of
little
paying for
British.
damage they did not cause. So you think you're Mr. Right, right? You check all the boxes. You're calm, you're consistent, you provide, and you are still getting attitude, you're still getting distance, you're still getting tested, you're still getting manipulated, you're still getting disrespected. Now you're confused because you don't get it. You don't see what it is you're doing wrong. And to be honest, it's nothing. You are simply dealing with somebody who's in defense and reactive mode. A lot of women don't hate men. They just don't know how to act when they are not being hurt. So they self sabotage. They create problems where there are none. They question intentions that are clear and they pull away when things start to feel steady. Because these women are used to chaos and peace
Facts.
feels unfamiliar and unfamiliar feels unsafe. And a lot of men, they're going to deal with that for a while. But at some point, they're going to check out. Because no man wants to keep proving himself to somebody who is committed to misunderstanding him. A lot of men aren't leaving because they cannot handle a good woman.
And that that that, hey, I hope y'all listening. I hope y'all listening, fellas and ladies. Especially my boys, man. I hope that you all, you know, took that to heed. The beautiful young woman, you know what I mean? I think she's young. Well, we gonna call her young. She does look good though. Anywho's, nevertheless, you know, I hope you paid attention to that. I hope you pay very close attention to that. Because there are, not to get, I've told you before in my previous videos that I really don't like titles. So I don't really like to get into the whole RP thing. But, there are a lot of women and at times men that, are just used to chaos. Mostly women, speaking from a man's perspective. There's a lot of women, that you might run into that are used to chaos, and a lot of times it doesn't present itself that way. A lot of these women, some of these women, they don't present themselves as chaotic or being used to only chaos at first. A lot of these women, especially nowadays, with the podcast, the male centered podcast, and the dating talks, they a lot of these women develop a strong representative, a very strong representative. So it doesn't present itself that way, but as soon as you catch whiff of it, run immediately. Run. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah, run. Get up out of there, my boy. Get up out of there, man. Because it's no reason to position yourself to disturb your peace. When you create your peace, don't disturb it, because you allow somebody that you're lusting after in your life to disturb your peace. If it's an attractive young lady and it's a woman that's going to bring peace, fine. Cool. That's what real relationships are all about. But you have to vet. You have to vet. I mean, and I'm coming from a real place. You have to vet. If you don't, your peace is going to disturb. You're going to be possibly looking at some legal issues, or possibly get in a situation that's going to lead to legal issues or life issues. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why my tone just did that. Life issues. You don't want to deal with that. You don't want your peace disturbed. You don't want to get into unwanted situations. It's unnecessary. Yeah. Be mindful. Stay safe out here. You know what I'm saying? All right. Next clip. Let's keep it moving, baby. Here's something from a podcast. Where one of the guys from 85 South, I think. Is it 85 South or what was that? Wildin' Out? Yeah, Nick has Wildin' Out. One of the guys, they was asked the question, what he value most. This is just to confirm everything that I've been saying. If there's ladies in the room listening or what have you, so check it out.
You have to be honest, but let's ask if you have to be honest about what you want. What do you want?
Me? I'll take the respect and the peace over all the other stuff.
Respect and peace.
If I just had to pick two, because a woman who respects you, she gonna treat you different, and she gonna protect you from certain things. I'm not saying that it's gonna make the relationship amazing,
Right.
but
Still gonna put that work in.
Yeah, but when somebody really care about you and they respect the way you think and the way you move, they gonna protect you from certain little bullshit that happens in a relationship. And the peace is like that's the thing that's you can't even put a number on
Right.
how valuable that is, because when somebody is your piece, that's the person you want to share all of the
Everything.
everything.
You unfold then.
You gonna make sure, like, hey, that baby girl, she took care of off top. So I take those two.
You want to
over
be happy when
anything.
you see her.
But I think a lot of people get being spoiled because they don't know that that's their piece. Like he said, once the piece is brought forefront, you just want to share every moment, everything with them because that's your piece. So a lot of people like, oh, he's spoiling that girl, or he a trick, not knowing no.
So, yeah, you know what I mean. Like I 100% agree with that. I was telling one of my friends not too long ago, a couple months ago, we was talking about relationship and everything, and congrats to him and his relationship and everything that's going on. But I was telling him that, like, when you found a wife when she feels like home, because you could say home is the I guess the physical aspect of a home, the brick and mortar, or the house or the apartment, or whatever you could call that home. Sure, you made it home because you made it home. You know what I'm saying? It's not home just because you pay rent there. Sure, I mean, that's the technical side of things, you know what I mean? But it's home because you made it home. It's your stuff in there, is your energy in there, you know what I mean? For those of you that believe in energy and whatnot, is those things that's happening that make it home, that make it a home. You know, I don't know why I can't talk today, but anywho's, you know, it's the things, the energy, the I guess the set design of the place that creates your energy, who you are, your expression of who you are within that unit, or facility, however, wherever you lay your head at. That's what make it a home. You know what I mean? So as it pertains to a woman, when she is bringing you peace and she's supporting you, that's home. It's gonna feel like home because it's a support of your energy. You know what I mean? It's a makeup of you. It's a representation of who you are because you guys relate at such a higher level outside of just a friendship or a family member or whatever. Is very intimate, it's very close. That's why they call it intimacy. When you find that right person, she feels like home, because it's like the old saying says, home is where the heart is. I'm not trying to speak this whole mushy fantasy stuff, but no, it's real. Like it's a makeup of your energy. It's a representation of you. That's why she feels like home, when she bring you that peace, when she value you and respect you, because the feeling is mutual. You know what I mean? It's definitely mutual. It's that peace, because at home you get peace. At home you're able to deal with other things within you that's not outside of you. So I 100% agree with that. 100%. Let me get into these last few clips so we can go ahead and get into this next segment. You know what I mean? If you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe. If you made it this far and you're enjoying yourself, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. You heard? All right, next clip.
Break you, wrap your head. Don't let the pressure break you. Wrap your head around the pressure and make it motivate you. Make you understand. Nah, you got to get on your grown man be out and make your moves and make them count. You can't let the pressure break you like fuck, and you just want to spaz because they got his place for your ass. Yeah. They take all that shit away. So and they can't wait to take it. They can't wait. Don't let
that right there is so powerful. And this is the subject in the beginning of the video of the podcast where I mentioned that's what this episode is all about. When you just bounded by pressure, so you isolate. And you're not isolating to be negative towards anybody or anything. It's isolating so you could look within yourself. As I just mentioned, the home is where your heart is. You when you create that peace, when you create that home, you're inside the home building something else, because you have peace within yourself. You building that peace or recreating that peace. You're making your way through the pressure of the world, the weight of the world on you. You know what I mean? That's why that brother right there was speaking nothing but facts. You know what I mean? And when you isolate and you in solitude and you're thinking and you're on your computer researching, and you go back out and you trying to make things happen. You on a grind. You know what I mean? That's why this episode is called "Return of the Grind." Is it's that isolation. It's that producing that diamond from brimstone. You know what I mean? I got one more clip, and I'm gonna hit to the next segment. And next segment.
A man and woman who builds in silence and who prays in private are the most dangerous couple alive. Nobody sees them coming, not even the enemy. There's no posts, no announcements, no relationship goal content for strangers to consume. Just two people locked in on something bigger than the internet's approval. He's not talking about what he's building it. She's not performing her faith for an audience. She's on her knees, working, praying when nobody's watching, and together they're constructing something that the world won't understand until it's already finished. The enemy can only attack what he can see. He targets the loud ones, the ones who announce every move, the ones who put their relationship on display before it's fortified. A couple that moves in silence, that prays together behind closed doors, that works together, that builds without broadcasting. There's no entry point, no angle, no weakness that's exposed. Most couples are competing with each other. This couple is conspiring together. There's a difference. He covers her, she covers him. He provides the structure, she provides the help. He builds the vision, she nurtures the environment that makes the vision possible. Sometimes she's doing the building. She's not just praying, she's discerning, she's watching, she's speaking life into rooms before they enter them. She's protecting the atmosphere of the home while he protects the direction of the family. Neither one is passive, neither one is performing. Both of them are essential, and neither one needs the world to validate what God already confirmed. If you're in this, protect it. What you have is rare and it's worth guarding. If you're not there, become the man worth building with. A woman like this is looking for a man already in the work, not one still waiting to start. You don't need a loud relationships. You need a locked in one. The couples that last aren't performing for a timeline. They're preparing their legacy.
Man. That furthermore goes into, what I was talking about, building a silence, that isolation. You don't need to air out everything that you're doing. You know what? And I think that's one of the biggest problems of social media and these days, nowadays, well, especially with women. They're just the majority who do it, but there are men, just people in general, just airing out their business on the internet. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, why? You got to tell your whole life story on the internet? You can't just keep that to yourself and just experience life. What happened to experiencing life, man? It's crazy. But like I said, it's the isolation. It's when you're at home and when you're in peace is when the greatest things are produced. You become the greatest version of yourself. So that's why a lot of the time some of the greatest people, in the world, built themselves with, in isolation. I mean, you talking about like people like Michael Jordan, he was like considerably not great in high school, but during the evening times, after he probably finished his homework and whatever, he practiced non-stop. Him and his brother practiced day in and day out, just so he can get better. And then, next thing you know, we got the greatest of all time basketball player, NBA player. You know what I mean? Like, you got people like that. Tiger Woods, he came out of nowhere. One of the strongest golf players you ever saw in history. The man got a swing on him. You got that. A lot of these people, a lot of the great people, and that's just me, giving examples. You was building at home, and then you became great. I got some more examples of that going into this next segment. So